Hey guys, at the program. It's been a few days now, coming back to check in. I went camping, but I'm back now. We're off to work. We're getting things done. Wanted to start off by showing you guys a new website for Cetera Smart Contracts. So there you go. Looks good. Still working on it. Contact. It's great. So finally, we have a website we've been waiting for a few years. Completely has nothing to do with the dev program. So dev program, let's take a look. I have my Discord open here. So we're just going to go cohort by cohort and just take a look at the different pull requests, different stuff, and then we're gonna set up a final repo when everything's done. Let's take a look at what these guys have done. It looks like there's iCohort version. Okay, so there's some movement going on here. So let's take a look. Let's see. D-rule contractor contract cohort version 1. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a pull request. I got it. So I have to go check your repo. Where's your repo? There you go. Oh, you made a branch on your own? Okay. All right. GPT version. Oh, GPT version. I did that. Okay. iCohort 1 version. And then these two. Okay. 2 weeks. Last Dare's version. I didn't touch that. Okay. So let's see what you guys did. This is yours. Okay. So you guys made an ownable contract using counters. Not sure what the counters is for, but we'll see. These can be public. Yeah, these can definitely be public. It's no need to be private for this for sure. The counter, like the thing with counter is like you can just increment the counter using. You can just make your own counter. Like you don't really need an Open Zeppelin thing for a counter. Now you may have your arguments for why. So we'll talk about this desk, but like. It's things like this that I fail to understand, that if you can give me clarity as to why it's better to use that, then I could understand. But at this point in time, like you create a variable and you increment it. You don't need a new counter to consistently increment. But all right, let's see. So jobs, new job ID, that's good. This is all correct. You guys seem to see where I was going with that. Only owner, good. So you guys changed the removed the require and just made it so that it's only owner. So that's fine. You guys can use Open Zeppelin ownable. That's if you want to do that, that's okay. Usually I just like to have my own owner set up, but once again, if the contract works and it does everything that it needs to do and it's not overly complex, like I wouldn't consider ownable as an overly complex thing. It's a pretty straightforward thing. So yeah. One thing with the syntax that I'm just noticing here, just a very simple thing that everybody needs to keep to remember, is that as you can see, the indent here is just very little. Like there's just a tiny bit of indent. I like my indent like this. Let me show you. Let's see. So let's look at this function here. So you see you have that full tab space indent after the function before the next line, and there's always a tab space indent if there's an if or whatever. So it needs to make sure that you're using a full tab indent. I don't know if it's happening here and it's just the way GitHub is doing things, but there you go. So all right, you guys seem to have simplified the contract. So actually we do have my version here. Okay, not simplified, but yeah, you have done some things, but it is not complete because I do see that there is missing the available jobs option, but I will. That's something I expected that we would have problems. The other thing is camel case. Sure, you know what? If actually, you know what? We're gonna be very specific here. I don't want to use camel case. I want to use capital case. That means that every function and every name of the contract, everything always is capitalized. You capitalize from the start every single word. That way you have this thing where every word is very clear. I think that camel case just looks stupid. There's no reason to use camel case. I know it's not how the industry standard is, but at this point, like it makes no difference, and this is just how we like it done. So if you have any problem with that, you can go and work for someone else. Let's see, the add contractors. Okay, so you made a made, so obviously I don't know if I made it over here, but yeah, as you can see in my function, I made it possible so that it could remove the contractors and add them. So you could, do a lot of them at the same time. Oh, I see, but you change it up into separate functions. Okay, I see. What I want you to actually, yeah, I guess we're going to have to make sure that every person that we just input into this works, because otherwise it will, yeah, actually it will still work even if it will just set them back to false. So actually that's fine, no problem with that. This I don't understand here. This finalized job, the finalized job, let's see, let's take a look. Job ID not valid. Okay. Okay. You have to make sure that you're for this one, you have to make sure that you are the job acceptor. So there needs to be an address for the thing. Where is iCohort 1 version? Okay. Oh, okay. So I see what you did there. Okay. So you guys are going to have to explain to me why you did this. I don't understand why you would separate the files if you could just keep them into one file and leave the struct there, because the problem that this creates is that when you go and verify the contract, you can still verify it this way, you just have to flatten it, but it looks, in my opinion, it looks really weird to have separate contracts where you're going, it just complicates things overly, especially for a contract like this. I would highly recommend you just stick with one file for the smart contract. It should not be longer than 150 lines, maybe 200 lines. But yeah, so I'm gonna see. So that's the cohort 1 version. I'm gonna take a look at the other versions from the other cohorts later. So just looking at mine very quickly, certain things that need to be included that you don't want to forget about is this available jobs public variable that's an array that has all the available jobs in the array. The way to do this, and I'm going to show you using a visual thing like this. Let's see if I can find a, yeah, here you go. So this is very, it may look a little complicated, but this is actually very simple. So essentially what happens is there's 2 arrays. Here you go. This is kind of what it is. I don't think any of these are really good visualizers, but essentially I'll do a sorry, I'm gonna get something to draw on. Okay, all right, perfect. So I'm gonna just go with the pencil. Okay, so you're gonna have the first array here. This is the jobs array. Okay, so this has all of the jobs, and we also know with the here we know the furthest job that exists because of the array. So we just look at job.length. So we can see what the most recent one is. When we create, so to fix this problem so that we can have available jobs, what we have to do is we have to create a separate function, a separate array that keeps track of the available jobs, right? So we'll just do AJ here for available jobs, or A jobs. So available jobs. And this available jobs array, the way that we'll populate it is every time a new job is added, we will push the ID of the job to the A jobs array. Then we're going to have another array called the Fisher-Yates shuffle array, or we can call it something else. You can do whatever you want. I just like to call it the Fisher-Yates shuffle because that's what it is. So we'll call it the, we'll put it over here. FYS, like that. And so what we'll do now is when we add the available jobs to the A jobs, what we'll do is we'll look at the positioning of this addition to A jobs in its array. So a job, say we have 5 jobs where 2 of them have been accepted already. So in this case, to be able to remove them, what we need to do is use the Fisher-Yates shuffle array. So when we add the jobs, what we do is we see that, say when we put the first ever job, it's going to be job ID 0 going to available jobs, and available jobs will be populated by a single value of 0 for the job ID 0. And at the same time, when we do that, we're also going to tell the Fisher-Yates shuffle array that in this same position, so that at the position of 0, we have it's the position of that job. So we take the 0 ID of the jobs, and essentially the key pairing is going to be a mapping. So I'll show you through here. So it's a mapping of a uint 256, which is, and that uint is the job ID. So it's the job ID to its position within the available jobs array. Okay, so that seems maybe a little complicated, but as long as we always add the ID of the job to the Fisher-Yates array and include its position in this thing, then what we can do is when we need to remove that thing from the available jobs, all we have to do is call the array the Fisher-Yates array. So say now we're going to have the remove function. So the rm. So to remove from a jobs. So over here. So to remove, what we'll do is we'll call the Fisher-Yates array with the job ID that we want to remove. So say in this case it's 0, so we'll query it for 0. It's going to return that at ID 0, for ID 0, we have the placement of 0. Now, if we add new jobs, say we do 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? So we have A jobs, there's 1, 2, 3. Jobs, there's 1, 2, 3. FYS is 1, 2, 3. And say we have somebody who accepts the second job. So we want to remove the job number 2 here. So we query this array for 2, and we'll find that it's going not to return 0, but it's going to return 2. So now what we do is we have to remove this value from the array. We can't just pop this area, because what will happen is we'll remove the last one. So what we have to do is we have to we need to delete the last placement on the array. So we need to figure out what the final item in the array is for this one. So in this case, it will be 3, because remember we have 1, 2, 3. So it will be, this one is 1, 2, 3. So we want to remove number 2. So what we do is we remove 3. So we're going to do array.pop. First we have to save. So first what we do is we populate the current area. So where the second value in the array will become 3. So we'll populate the last value, the value that we're replacing with the last value, and by doing so we can pop the final this array, the Fisher-Yates array. And that way we'll have 2 values that are the only available jobs, which are 1 and 3. And this can continue as long as the system is set up properly within the smart contract. It will work forever, and it will be able to remove and add new things. Now in the array, it obviously won't be perfectly job ID in A jobs for. It will not be in order, because for it to be in order, we would have to look at every single value and shuffle it every time, which is inefficient for a smart contract. So what we do is we just do that on the front end, and we just query it as is, and that's no problem. That's pretty straightforward. If you have more questions on how to do this, let me know. This is maybe one of my favorite concepts when it comes to smart contracts, because it does solve a problem that a lot of smart contracts need, where it is keeping track of such an available repository of information. In this case, it's all the available jobs. So hope that makes sense. I think that you guys, I think I need to give you guys more information still on what I want for the contractor jobs contract. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little meeting. I would say tomorrow at around 12:30. So that makes 12:30 EST on Tuesday. I will promise I will come to this one. I will not miss it. I know that I've had, I didn't come to a few of them, and that's bad. But I will go. It was a very busy time. I will be there, and we will all work together. And you guys can ask all the kind of questions you want to do that. I just want to take a quick look first at the other repositories. So I did see that there was one. So we no longer have a third cohort. So I archived the channel. And it's gone now. Well, it's not gone. You should still see it, but you don't think you can type in it. Ah, shit. Okay. Next thing, cohort 2. Let's see what their progress is. I don't know if they made a fork. Let's see if they made a fork. Yeah, there's a fork. Oh. It says there's 3 forks, but there's only one. How is that possible? Maybe it's different branches? It could be branches. I would think that the forks would include... Oh. Okay, I'll accept that. 3 branches. So why are there 3 branches? Accept job. Shadow Blazer. Oh, wait. Who's Shadow Blazer? Which guy is Shadow Blazer? Okay, so wait, this is different now. We now have a different one. I don't know which one this is. This is cohort 1 version. It's a separate version of the same thing. Maybe it's exactly the same? Okay, it's similar, but it's different. Okay. All right, well, you guys have, over at cohort 1, you guys have 2 versions, so figure out which one you want to use. Obviously, we need a little bit more detail for you guys on how we want to do this. One thing we might do is I'll just give you the whole contract description, or I'll just make the whole contract myself. I think what's more important here is not the contract itself, which is important, but what's important is the understanding and communicating with people how they want, what they need, essentially what they need for their smart contract and front end and everything, and being able to do exactly as doing pretty close as to what they're looking for, which I'll admit myself is not easy, and it is still something I'm working on myself, and I think everyone can always get better at that, especially in this industry. It's very, very useful skill to have. So we're going to definitely need to work on that a little bit. I want to organize the program a little bit better. I want to do some additional resources, like a website where you guys can see the daily updates instead of just having the Discord. That way, there's a central place for information that's not just the Discord. We could just use the Discord. It kind of depends, up to you guys. I know you guys want to get to work, and I'm sorry they're about the delay. We're going to finish this one within this week. We're going to finish this project by Sunday, and by Sunday I'll have evaluations. I'll have information on everybody, and we'll move on and see how we want to continue. So for those that will be partaking in a contractor job with a client afterwards, you'll technically still be learning, but you'll be paid obviously in regular prices and everything. But you'll still be technically in development until the 2-month contract expires, which it should be in September. So then we can renew it then, and you can become a regular. But you're still going to be making the same thing, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So yeah. Thanks for working, everybody. I see progress, and I'm very happy about that. I'm disappointed in myself for not being very active for a little bit there, and I'm glad you guys have continued to work regardless of that. So I really appreciate that, and I will get back to you in the near future. So I'll see you guys soon.